There's a new documentary coming to Netflix this week, and it's called Arnold. And in it, Arnold Schwarzenegger opens up about the moment, not only that he told his ex-wife, Maria Shriver, about his affair, but the moment he told her he was fathering a child with their housekeeper. Arnold told Maria about it during a marriage counseling session in 2011. He said the therapist said to him that Maria wanted to know, flat out, if he was Joseph's father. And Arnold said, quote, "I thought my heart stopped. And then I told the truth. Yes, Maria, Joseph is my son." Wow. Arnold was, of course, talking about Joseph Baena. He said the news left Maria crushed. She divorced him after that. In the age of transparency, which we are living, is this a good thing, Erica? A bad thing? What do you think about this? Arnold's opening up.
Yeah, well, we hadn't really heard from Arnold.
Correct.
We had heard from everybody, and everyone was scrutinized, from the woman or Joseph's mother to Joseph to Maria Shriver. So there's a time where people have to own their own narrative, and I think that not only will this be helpful to perhaps his legacy moving forward, but also maybe this will be the catalyst for healing for his family as well.
I'm hoping. What do you think, Steph? I think you're right. Maybe it's a bridge.
I hope so. I hope in particular for his son, because obviously he's been born into this world with obviously not his decision, is it? And he's like been stuck in this world of not knowing and thinking his father is one person, finding out it's someone else. The trauma of the families, his own parents, the man who raised him, then stepping away, you know, it must be horrific. And I've got a really good girlfriend whose story is very, very similar. And it's been very painful, even as a friend, watching her grow up, having these constant battles with what are her siblings. They don't want her to be.
Right.
And her trying desperately to build that bond. And it's hard because I see from their side, they're like, you know, who was our father? How could you do this to us? Have this whole separate life we didn't know about? There's so much anger and pain. And then from her, she's so desperate just to build, and she can obviously, she loves her father. She wants the relationships. And so it's very hard. It's very tragic, you know.
I think
it's painful.
What's most heartbreaking about what you're saying, Steph, is if you committed an act that made people feel about your friend the way her family that's kind of ostracized her does, at least you can say, hey, I made a mistake, and I understand that you're allowed to not like me for that. But she's coming in this, there's rarely a time when you can associate the word human being with innocent completely. She had no choice in all of this.
None.
She's tried to build human connections with her family, with who brought her into this world, and they've rejected her again for something that she had no control of. And I think that we need to learn from, unfortunately, your friend's situation and a lot of people's situation. As 23andMe is out, a lot of people are finding out they got a half brother, or that's not your biological father, and all these different things. That, like I always say, that song "Papa Was a Rolling Stone," that was not a hit because it had a great melody. It did, but it was very catchy. But it resonated with people. No one was like, I wonder what he's talking about. What is the basis of this? That was going on all over the country for right up until genetic testing came out. So we need to all learn to have these difficult conversations as adults, so when we're gone, the kids that we leave behind are not left with a bunch of questions and a bunch of unworked out anger.
Right,
yes,
like
and they'll never get the answer to those questions.
Right. I know 23andMe is based off of the chromosomes. We have 23 chromosomes, but isn't it funny that's 2023 and it's 23andMe? It really brings you into, this is where we are right now in this world.
I don't know why is that funny.
It's just interesting.
No, it's just the number 23 twice.
Right, but it's also about like the moment we're in.
Michael Jordan was 23. Does that associate at all?
Coming up on DBL.